Hey, everybody. Welcome to today's impromptu live session. Just popping in on a beautiful Saturday afternoon as I do unpredictably. And I'm just here to offer some very important, kind of fun woo woo tips that actually work. For the past 6 weeks, I've been deep in an immersion with some incredible teachers and leaders in this world. So I haven't had time to upload on my normal schedule. My nice, you guys know I like to spread out and make my videos nice and long, and really give you some great teachings. I haven't had time to do that because I've been so busy working in depth with some incredible teachers. But I wanted to come on here today to say hello, to hang out with you guys, and to give you some very powerful tools, some woo woo tools that are going to help you to increase your wealth and increase the overall quality of your life, and probably help your body, mind, and spirit. Okay. So, hey, Christy, welcome in, Christy. It's so good to see you. I'd love to hear where you guys are tuning in from, where you guys are, you know, let me know where you're coming in from. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to be checking in on the chat during this presentation. This isn't so much a presentation as much as it's just a nice little, we'll call it an office hours, but my office hours are a little bit out there. You guys know I get a little bit down on the woo. Fort Lauderdale in the house. Cool, Christy. Thanks so much for coming. Hey, Parrot Photography. Hello from Australia. 6 a.m. Starting the day off strong. I'm going to give you some really great stuff, Flying Parrot, today. Some woo-woo practices. I'm in Houston. Shout out to Houston. You're just like 4 hours away from me. I'm in Austin. Hello from Chicago. Hey, Crystal. Good to see you, Crystal. Okay, everybody. So we're gonna talk about some woo-woo things that actually work. And I'd love to hear a little bit from you guys. Before I start, I'm just gonna check in with the chat. What is your guys' go-to kind of woo-woo practice? Woo-woo being look, I'm using the term woo-woo. Where I think most of you guys, like 99% of my audience, is way past the term woo-woo. Kind of puts this like this kind of eye rolling, it almost gives like an eye rolling feel to the spiritual principles. I'm using the term woo-woo for the 1% of you who might kind of roll your eyes at some of this outlandish stuff, the spiritual stuff, and you maybe aren't fully on board. I'm going to give you, don't believe a word I say. I want you to try some of the things I offer today and watch your life completely transform. Watch the money start flowing in freely. Watch your health improve. Watch your whole life change. Okay, so let's see. Walking by myself, hearing the birds chirp, getting massages, getting massages from God, getting messages from God. Wouldn't it be cool if we could get massages from God? And peace in my mind. So amazing. That's beautiful, Kirsty. I love that. Saying thank you to water. Oh, I love that. That's beautiful. Woo woo is my life, but I meditate and journal every morning. Yes, that's absolutely amazing. That's a really good practice, really plugging in with the divine beloved. I love that. Okay, so I'm going to start with a really simple paradigm. This is a really simple paradigm that I think is, I think when we hear these things, it almost seems too simple to be true. But this is my number one woo. The number one woo thing that I'm going to offer you. And it's coming from my favorite spiritual scripture, and that's the Course in Miracles. So many of you guys know I'm a student and teacher of A Course in Miracles. And essentially, this book is all about, it's a really long, big, huge text, but it's all about presence. If I could sum it up, it's about love. And love is the same thing as presence. So, really quickly, the very first woo woo thing I'm going to offer you is to completely arrive in the now, not novel. I know that's not sexy. I know that's not the glamorous Elvis suit that we're looking for, because some of the stuff, the spiritual stuff, the woo stuff, I myself, I love the Elvis costumes and the glitz and the glamour and the disco balls and the angels. And I love hearing about near-death experiences. And I love some of the fancier sacred practices and all of the beautiful accoutrements of the spiritual stuff. But the number one panacea for me, the one woo that's not so woo, it's just being here now. And Baba Ramdas really got the nail right on the head. He had that whole book called Be Here Now. And Eckhart Tolle had The Power of Now. And more or less what I found when I was going through lots of clinical depression and anxiety during my 20s, and I was wrestling with life. And when I had my spiritual awakening, what happened was basically my suffering was so deep, it cracked me wide open that the only way for me to heal was to arrive in the present moment here and now. So when I learned all these teachings and all the things, and I actually learned how to do it, be here now, everything started flowing so much easier. I made great money back then. I make even more money now doing less because I'm here now. In a really practical way. I'm not any less human than I was before. And all of us are these beautiful human beings in our beautiful human costumes. We're not going to escape the fact that we're running in a culture that runs on money. And anyway, to increase our prosperity, our abundance, our wealth, our health, our peace, our joy, our love, whatever it is you want more of, that's good. It's only ever available here and now in a really practical way. And just one line, I'm just going to read one line from A Course in Miracles, and it's, the miracle comes quietly into the mind that stops an instant and is still. And that's more or less going to what Kirsty was just saying, where she spends time to walk, to meditate, to journal, to just be quiet. And I think all of us gathered here in this space, in this time together right now in this moment, I think all of us are on the same page, that it feels so good to just be here now. So that means letting go of the past in like a very real way. Even what happened yesterday. If you can let go of what happened yesterday in your business, if you can let go of what happened yesterday, the things you did or didn't do, if you didn't get enough sleep yesterday, your boss was a jerk yesterday, whatever it was, your sales weren't quite what you wanted them to be yesterday. If we can really let go of all of the stories, all of the stuff, all of what if you're misusing your memory, aka your mind, you're using it to bring the past into this moment, the profits are not going to come as freely as they will if you just open your mind to what's here right now. So right now I'm looking out the window. There's a big, beautiful, lush, I live in a part of Austin where there's all these lush trees and there's these birds swooping through the air. And yesterday is gone. It doesn't exist. And in this moment now, and all this beauty and abundance, and you guys are sitting here with me, there's literally no past here in this moment. I'm not touched by the past. And in this fresh moment, all of us sitting here, we have infinite access to the infinite potential of infinite ideas. And in this moment now, you're able to infinitely be aware of what your people need from you, what kind of products will sell, how to best increase your profits. And the most important question, this is the woo step number 2, is asking the right questions with intention. How many of you guys have heard the power of intention? Let me know in the chat if you've heard of the power of intention. I learned about the power of intention from Gary Zukav. And if we use this power of intention, it's like plugging a lamp into an electric socket. Everything in your life gets dialed up by 1,000,000. Your profits just compound so fast your head will spin. Power of intention in this moment, asking the question with intention, what's the best action I can take now? Opening up to that present moment awareness. What's the best action I can take now? So I'd love for everybody right now, if you're watching the replay, awesome. If you're here live now, awesome. If we just take a minute, this is like a super special woo hack. This is practical woo, but this is a woo hack. If we take a minute to get into that present moment, like we just read from A Course in Miracles, this is the formula, everybody. Taking a moment to just get really in the moment now. And then from that space, now you're in the witness. Now you're the I am that I am. The I am that I am is limitless. There's no limits to what you can create, how much money you can make, how healthy your body can be. There's no limits to it. From this space of now, it's unlimited. We're in an eternal now. And in this eternal now, if we ask the honest question with a sincerity, what's the best action to take now? Sometimes the answer is really banal. Sometimes the answer, here's the thing about all of this stuff. Sometimes the answer makes no sense to the logical brain. Sometimes the answer is go to TJ Maxx and get yourself a get yourself a new piece of luggage and then book a trip to Houston or whatever. Drive 4 hours to Houston. You don't know what the answer is going to be, but if we open up sincerely to what's the best action I can take now, something will come in, and it's not of your own mind. It's not of the superficial layers of the mind. It's always something way deeper when we give that spaciousness. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Yeah, the Power of Intention by Gary Zukav. Exactly. So I'd love to hear if you guys ask yourself just right now in this moment. This is really fun because we're having like a little play storm brainstorm session, and we're all combining. Do you guys feel the energy lifting because we're all together here now in this space of infinite potential? I can feel the energy just raised an octave, and all of us together are here in the non-local consciousness, in this non-local space of consciousness where you are infinite and eternal. What is the best step for you to take now, just for your well-being and the well-being of all others? Yeah. It's amazing what happens when we dial in to that simple the one point, the now. Again, this isn't novel, but it really is going to get you unstuck and get your life elevated to a level of ease, flow, peace. This is going to lead me to the third thing. We're going to cover 5 woo things that really do make a difference. So I want to share with you guys the third key. Who's ready for the third key? To love unconditionally. I'm going to actually put this up here. To love unconditionally. To love unconditionally. That's a really good one. That's powerful. Unconditional love. As an aside, before I get to the third thing, really important. There is a part in the Course in Miracles, and it's asking the question. There's a question in the Course in Miracles in the Manual for Teachers, and it asks, how can we have peace in this world? How can we have peace in this world that seems to be chaotic? I want to just address this because this ties in with what we're talking about. How do we have peace in this seemingly insane and chaotic world? The way that we do that is by exactly what's on the screen here, to focus on unconditional love. That's all there is to it. Everything else doesn't have a place in my mind. I'm not focused on anything besides unconditional love. So thank you so much for that. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Okay. So third tool. Who's ready for the third woo-woo tool? I'm going to give you guys a really practical third woo-woo tool. This is woo-woo, but it's practical woo that you can actually use today. All the things that I'm teaching you guys, you're going to actually, if you use them today, you'll notice, oh my God, how much better you feel. So we're going to take a look at what in your life can you get rid of today. This is also, we can also call this energetic clearing. Just clearing the energies in your life, literally, figuratively, physical energies, emotional energies, spiritual energies, whatever it is. What are you willing and ready to let go of? What are you willing and ready to let go of? Just today, just for right now, just to see how it feels, just even for 5 minutes. What in your life is draining your energy that you don't need anymore? All these little things, like if I have a cup here, let's say this is an example of this. If we have a finite, our bodies, literally, we are human bodies, and our bodies have just so much energy. There's only so much energy that the body has. We only have 24 hours in a day, and we only have so much energy. And when we're using our energy and splashing it to, like, let's say frustration, something's really frustrating you. You don't enjoy your place of work, for instance. You're not enjoying your job. That's a huge energy drain. And then maybe let's say your partnership isn't quite right and you know it and you should probably get out of there, but you're not. That's another huge thing. A lot of us go around splashing our energies on all the stuff that doesn't really matter. And then we're left with, for ourselves and for the work that we need to do in this world and for our divine joy and peace and bliss, we have hardly any energy left. There's like a couple drops for our soul. I'm saying flip it the other way. Do not keep pouring into energies that don't serve you. Get rid of everything that's not serving you anymore. And I'm saying get ruthless about this. Have you noticed that there's people that want to talk to you and take up your time and they're wasting your damn time talking about all kinds of negativity, complaining, maybe even insulting you? You know, I've got a couple really nice seeming neighbors, but they always have something negative to talk about. And they always find some way to insult either me or somebody around me, or they're negative. They're just kind of negative people. And I love them unconditionally, like we talked about, but I also love them at a distance. So I say, I have to go. I'm so sorry. I don't have time for this. I have to go. So where can you cut and release anything that's not serving you in your life? Past failures and heartbreak. Absolutely. Past failures and heartbreak. That's a good one to let go of. And how we do that, back to woo woo number one, we can let go of all that no longer serves us by bringing all of ourselves into the present moment. Again, the miracle comes quietly into the mind that stops an instant and is still. And that's all. Again, back to what I was saying before, when I had my spiritual awakening and I realized the present moment really does heal all things, truly, because in this moment now, it's eternal. If we can just continually bring ourselves to this present moment and realize everything that's from the past is totally washed and gone, it's a sacred gift that the divine beloved has given us, the ability to arrive here now, always in this present moment that's always fresh, new, and clean, free from all stories, free from the future and the past. So that's why I love yoga, by the way, because it brings us into the body, into the mind, into the here and now. Hello, Ricardo. Good to see you. Like Dr. Hawkins said, you don't need to hate them. That doesn't mean you should hang out with them. That's right. And I love Dr. David Hawkins. For those of you who don't know, Dr. David Hawkins wrote one of the most incredible life-changing books for myself and millions of other people called Letting Go, Non-Devotional Duality, The Pathway of Surrender. Dr. David Hawkins also has a complete library. I've got most of his books. He's totally transformed my body, mind, and spirit, the way that he approached his work and the way he explains things, what like Hannah just shared just there, it's stunning, beautiful. Thank you for that, Hannah. Okay. And then I'm going to go into the fourth key, the fourth woo-woo thing that actually works, besides getting rid of, as an aside, getting rid of even your clothes, the outfits you don't like anymore, donate them, get rid of the books that are taking up space in your life, get rid of the habits that aren't serving you, just start systematically getting rid of everything that's not you anymore. So good. So freeing. What in your life can you get rid of today? Physical, emotional. Thank you, Kirsty. Kirsty's my sidekick. Kirsty's my wing woman today. And I thank you so much, Kirsty, for giving beautiful summations of the work. Okay. And so I'm going to go into the woo key number 4. Woo key number 4. This one is a little more woo. This one is a little bit more the disco balls and the glitter and the glam and the flashing lights. And that's spirit guides and angels. Again, this is getting a little more out there in the woo. There's practical, grounded spirituality, and that's the kind of spirituality that transcends belief systems. And that's more what I like to teach about and lean into. That's like the Buddhism. I really like Buddhism because it doesn't so much matter if you believe in angels and guides and all of that stuff. I appreciate the Eastern traditions because they are separate from belief systems. I'm not really so much interested in beliefs. And I'm not so much interested in ideas that we have to like just I don't so much love leaning into teachings that might create resistance points of those skeptics, because I don't think it so much matters if you believe in spirit guides and angels, or if you believe in a God or not. I don't really so much think it matters. I think it really matters more how you're feeling in the present moment if you're here now. However, tool number 4 I am going to offer, even to the skeptics: spirit guides and angels. Leaning on spirit guides and angels as a tool for help, as a tool for getting through the challenges in your life, as a tool for guidance, can be very helpful. Now, I am going to speak to the skeptic just for a moment. I know that's not probably most of you guys, but I am going to speak to the skeptic. I am going to also speak to those of us who know probably that there are spirit guides, but you're still not totally on board. You're kind of like, I don't know. You're kind of going like that to the whole thing. I want you to not believe anything. I want you to just try it out. Okay. So here's what I want to offer. There are benevolent forces that are with us throughout our entire lives, keeping us safe, helping us through, giving us guidance, rooting us on. They're not able to intervene on fate and destiny. And a lot of this stuff is above the pay grade of all human beings. There's some questions that many of us can't answer ever. Such is the beauty of life. It's meant to be a question mark, a lot of it. If we had all the answers, it wouldn't be the beautiful journey called life. It wouldn't be such a magnificent experience. There's some mystery to it. So I can't answer all the questions about how spirit guides and angels work. I just know personally, don't believe it, I know it, that I have spirit guides and angels, and so do you. And you can ask them anytime for anything, for any kind of assistance, and they most of the time will deliver. Now, they can't spoon feed you, your life's work, and they can't spoon feed you the lessons that you're going to need to take, and they can't take the medicine away that you're meant to swallow. So for instance, there's plenty of times in your life where you're probably going to be experiencing struggle and strife and wishing you had some spirit guides to like bail you out, but you got yourself into a sticky situation because you made some bad choices, and you're going to have to learn the hard way. However, there are times in your life where you will not be able to rely on your own resources, where you have to go a level above what you have in store. You're going to have to go above the level of your conscious mind and give it to something higher. And that's where angels and spirit guides come in. So when do we call upon our angels and spirit guides? We call upon them when we're feeling completely lost. When you are in the dark night, when you are in the dark woods, all that means is that your mind and your ego have gotten you trapped into illusions. And your spirit guides and angels are really good at bringing you once again to the present moment and getting rid of all the clutter. How we tap into the spirit guides and angels, I'm going to give you guys this is really simple. Do you know the feeling when you call a friend, you pick up your iPhone and you dial a number and you push the dial button? How do you feel when you do that? There's a certainty to it. You don't even question it. You just know. So for me, here's how it works. I've been lucky enough to have a clairaudience and clairsentience for most of my life, pretty much my entire life. However, it got way heightened during my spiritual awakening when I became more present. So all we need to do is, when you're in the dark woods, you just take a moment to go for a walk, like Kirsty said. Take a moment, sit on the couch, look out the window, take a couple deep breaths, close your eyes, and just humbly, just like you're calling a friend up, just with your mind's eye, take a deep breath, expand your consciousness. Imagine you're going out to the outer edges of the universe and just say, I need some help. And then just take a deep breath and let whatever comes to come. Here's where people get tripped up. They start doubting what's coming in. You get a nice little insight, and it almost seems too simple. It's like, wait, here's one that people always get. It's really funny because a lot of people always get from their spirit guides, you're always loved and protected. And they're like, yeah, but I want some answers. Well, that is your answer. when I took my little hiatus from social media, a large part of my work is people got wind of the fact that I was doing meditation and mindfulness teaching, and then people would come to me, like a lot of businessmen were coming to me and asking me for help on how to heal their anxiety and depression and all that stuff. And a lot of them, I would tell them, let's talk with your spirit guides. And they didn't like what was coming through because they wanted this tangible stuff. They wanted the answers. They wanted to know, okay, well, what do I do? And I'm like, well, what did you get? I got that I'm always loved and protected. What more could you want? You literally have benevolent beings telling you you're loved and protected. It's all good. So anyway, long story short, we're going to lean in on our spirit guides and angels humbly. This is not, so again, just one last time, I don't want you to take my word for it. I want you to just try it out and see what happens. If you want more resources on this, I highly recommend you get into the work of Suzanne Giesemann. I just love Suzanne Giesemann so very much. And I actually got to take a couple trainings with her a little while ago. I am not a psychic medium. I don't have any intention of being one, but she is just a great resource on building that connection with your spirit guides, and she can definitely help guide you on that. I'm more interested in helping business owners and teachers and leaders to do their deep work in the world, but all of it's combined for me. So I'm not afraid to tell those of you who want to start building your profits, increasing your well-being, getting your work out into the world, your angels and spirit guides can help you do that. Okay. I met my guardian angel. They are real. That's beautiful. I love that. That's awesome. And Scott says, I really enjoy your perspective, Brenda. I'm open. Thanks, Scott. Love it. Love hearing it. Spirit guides and angels as a tool for help and challenges. Yes, Kirsty. Absolutely. Okay, everybody. So I'm going to give you the last and final tool today. Tip number 5. Who's ready for tip number 5? The 5th woo tool. Who's ready for it? Surrender. Releasing. Surrender and releasing. Surrender and releasing. So this means going like this to all of it. This means going like this to all of it. When we go like this to all of it, literally don't resist anything. No resisting, no grasping, no chasing, no wrestling with, no fighting. We're just going to go like this to all of it. What this does is, if you notice, just even this energetic stance, if you even just go like this, like as you're watching, just open up, like, come on, baby, like whatever happens is going to happen. I fully allow all of it. I'm allowing all of it. I'm allowing the money. I'm allowing success. I'm allowing failure. I'm allowing grief. I'm allowing pain. I'm allowing joy. I'm allowing sadness. When we go like this and we say it's all allowed here, I allow everything and I'm grateful for everything. There's a gratitude for this whole thing. The universe says, oh my God, she's open. The divine beloved says, oh my God, they get it. This whole experience is not necessarily about getting what we want. It's really mostly about dancing with this whole experience. The divine beloved is about a dance. When we operate from like, I just want what I want, and I want what I want, and I want what I want, and I want what I want, believe me, that's very empty. And I think a lot of us already here know that. Most of us here have manifested our little butts off and found that it's pretty empty. But I think a lot of us, I hope you guys understand what I mean when I say, when we surrender to whatever it is that life has in store for us, the things that we end up getting are so much better than what we could ever hope for. There's a quote in the Course in Miracles. One of the workbook lessons in A Course in Miracles says, I do not know what's best for me. And when I first read that, I said, that's malarkey. I know what's best for me. Now, 39 years into this experience, I can tell you without a shadow of doubt, I don't know what's best for me. The divine beloved always knows what's best for me. I didn't expect to be teaching online business owners how to start their business. I didn't know what was in store for me, but I just spent the past basically couple years That was a hard left turn. The divine beloved guided me towards, it's been working out great. And I said, okay, fine. When I first started this 15 years ago, I thought I'd be doing cooking videos for the rest of my life. I thought there's no way I'll ever get sick of doing this. And then I got so sick of doing it. And if I never ever do, or I love watching cooking videos, but you're never going to see me do another cooking video again, probably. I never thought that was going to happen. The divine beloved has big plans for you, my friends. And if you surrender to this or something better than this, I know you might have heard that. I want you to just surrender and open your heart to whatever it is life has to offer you. So watch carefully, like a cat watching a mouse hole, for all the different opportunities that happen throughout your day. You will be blown away at it is really so much better than anything you could come up with. I can't even tell you how many miracles, there's some teachers and leaders I'm working with in my cohort right now. I can't even tell you how many miracle upon miracle upon miracle. There's a beautiful teacher named Tegan Scott. She posted her second video. She got 15,000 views on that video. She had no idea that was going to happen, but she approached the whole thing with an open stance like this, open-hearted. Whatever happens, happens. If I get views, great. If I don't, great. And then she posted her second video. Tegan Scott, you can look her up, Elevate with Tate. Second YouTube video, 15,000 views. She got tons of new clients, but it's because she went like this. She wasn't like, I have to make, it's really important. Just whatever it is you're trying to do, I want you to surrender. I want this to happen. It's fine to want it to happen, but then also this or something better. I don't know what it's going to look like. You know what I mean? Okay. Surrender is so important. If you want more resources on surrender, Kirsty, I think it was Hannah. Hannah mentioned Dr. David Hawkins. The Letting Go book by Dr. David Hawkins is probably your best bet. I've got tons of other resources on letting go, releasing, surrender, the pathway of non-devotional duality. But that's going to be your best bet. I think that's a really good one for starting out and learning how to really let go of the whole thing. Okay. All right, everybody. So let me just check in on comments. Yes, I love the surrender mindset. It's less stressing. Thank you, Jasmine. I would love to hear if anybody else knows what I'm talking about with surrender. Let me know. Hey, Midori, it's good to see you, Midori. I would love to know if anybody else has any, does that resonate with the surrender situation? Mona says, thank you for all you do. Thank you for all you do, Mona. Leah says, I don't agree with what you're saying. I love all your other content. Well, I would love to hear what you don't agree with, Leah. I think it's Leah or Lay. I don't agree with what you're saying. Let me know what you don't agree with, Leah, because I'm open to a disagreement. I would just like to know what exactly you don't agree with. I'm open to not being agreed with, though. Lilium, good to see you, Lilium. Surrender was my biggest lesson of 2024. Totally agree. Our highest self is guiding the resonance. Absolutely. I love Michael Singer's work on surrender. Yeah, Ricardo. I love Michael Singer's work on surrender also. Michael Singer's unique, and he really leans into, let's talk about Michael Singer for a second. Michael Singer really leans into, he does not care at all about what you end up getting. He is so anti-manifestation. And you guys might have seen my video on manifestation where I talk a lot about, I got everything I wanted. I lived in a beachfront house in Miami with my partner. And he was also, we were both making great money. I was manifesting, my little took us off. I got everything that was on my vision board and it was so empty. So empty. And I know when you hear, like, for instance, when we hear Jim Carrey say, I wish everyone could get everything they wanted so that they could know it's not the answer. And we hear that and we're like, yeah. It's easy for you to say you got 30 million in the bank or whatever, but it really is the truth. That the manifestation tip, here's what I think about all of it. When we're manifesting for mutual contribution, it just so happens that's when the universe is really going to accelerate your dreams and your visions, everybody. So that's a really great use of manifestation, is actually like contribution. Like, what is my deep work in the world? How can I get this popping? And also getting profits. I'm here to help you increase your income for sure. That's really important. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that money doesn't matter. What I am telling you is that money is a side effect of that deep work and surrender. And Michael Singer does a really good job in all of his teachings. If you guys haven't gone to the Temple of the Universe, he's got a website called the Temple of the Universe, and he has a catalog of talks that are free, that are from the past like 10, 15, 20 years, I think. And almost every single one of them is the same. Stop trying to get what you want. Stop trying to not get what you don't want. Rise up above all that stuff, or get down underneath all that stuff, go deeper. And just so happens Michael Singer also multimillionaire. He doesn't really talk so much about money because he doesn't care about it. I'm talking about money as a byproduct of that deeper thing. That's, I think, what everybody's kind of catching on to. There's something deeper to this whole experience. And is money great? Yes, money is great. What I found is money is really rewarding as a byproduct of doing the deep work. So thank you so much, Ricardo, for sharing that about Michael Singer. I agree with you. Hello, Brenda. The Quantum Bunnies family say gratitude from Brazil. Say hi to our bunnies. Hey, Quantum Bunnies. I love that there are Quantum Bunnies in Brazil, and I'm going to have to look into the Motivation Bunnies. It's so good to see you guys. Hey, bunnies. Quantum, everybody, I don't know what the Quantum Bunnies are, but I love it. Let's all check out the Quantum Bunnies after you're done watching this replay. Would surrender not also be faith? That's a really great thing. You know what? I think, here's what I think. Faith is almost, it's adjacent to it. I think faith is almost tying in with beliefs. So it's like this. It's like, I have faith. If I'm just holding this water bottle and I'm blind and I can't see it, I have faith that there's water in here, right? Surrender is, if there's no water in here, if there's water in here, either way, I'm okay with it. Either way, I know and surrender to the fact that I am completely without a need for the water being in the cup or not in the cup. My sovereignty, my wellness, my joy, my peace is not dependent upon whether or not the cup is full or not. I'm surrendered to whatever the hell is in the cup, it's in the cup. Both of them are nutritious, Scott. Faith has its place for sure. But I think surrender is a little bit different. The energetic tone of surrender and the utility of surrender for me is even beyond faith. I have faith for sure, but even beyond faith, it's a total and complete surrender to, it's my ego surrendering to whatever the hell is happening, it's going to happen. So total surrender. Now, I'm a human being and I'm not perfect at this. I definitely still have my human side. And so surrender is forever and always, like, it's an unfolding onion for me. But anyway, that's my take on it. Money is just a form of energy and a side effect of freedom. I like that. That's beautiful. Yeah, I like that a lot. Money is just a form of energy, by the way. It's an idea and it's a concept and a construct. How do you feel about the quote, your bank account is a reflection of the amount of people you help? Yeah, I think that could be true, Lillian. But I also think, for instance, I have a client who is, here's a little share. I'm not going to say his name, but I have a client who's a financier who I worked with, who literally his work is he has like a client a week. He's got maybe 10 clients a year, and those clients pay him $10,000 an hour. And he's a millionaire. And like I said, during that time period where I wasn't posting to social media, I was actually helping lots of business owners, happen to be businessmen, but business owners, working through their patterns and all these things. And a lot of those people, again, they were very wealthy, but their client base wasn't necessarily huge. So I don't know. I think it's also a lot of it. Also, it's just an energetic thing. Money is a construct. Money is an idea. Money, like Wazi was saying, it's energy. And so I have acquaintances who literally they do a couple. They have a couple really big offers that they take a cap of like 10 clients per year, and they make really great money, and that's how they serve. So I don't know. I don't like to quantify it like that, but I don't hate it. I think money is definitely a reflection of your contribution to the world for sure. I love that. Um, that is so powerful. I have faith. I will heal my illness, but I surrender to whatever happens. Thank you, Hannah. Yeah. And Hannah, I don't know if you know, but I dealt with some chronic illness. That was part of my spiritual awakening. Was I had a huge, it was right before my spiritual awakening. I was dealing with some really terrible autoimmune issues, and I had huge bald patches called alopecia and lupus. And a huge part of my healing process was exactly what you just said: surrender, allowing, understanding that I don't know what's best for me. When I had my spiritual awakening, I started to intuit and feel through all of this stuff. I felt a huge part of my healing process was going to be surrender. And in the interest of full disclosure, I want everybody to know that every so often I still get symptoms of autoimmunity, but at this point it's adaptive. So the divine beloved gave me this nice little GPS where if I'm not minding my P's and Q's, dotting my I's and crossing my T's, it's adaptive. I get a little tiny, hey, it's like a little hello. Hey, little ego, you have to start balancing your life again. You're a little out of balance. And I surrender to that. I surrender to that's the way things are, and that's the way things will be. So thank you, Hannah. I love that. Surrendering to higher self and guides. That absolutely, Crystal. Since you like meditation and mindfulness, you should come visit the beautiful country of Nepal and enjoy under the Himalayas for a vacation. Yeah. Okay. Well, I might take you up on that. If that's cafe and bistro, I might totally take you up on that. If you've got a place for me to stay, you got a little coupon code or something. I'm just kidding. I would definitely check out your establishment, and I would love to go to Nepal. I would love to go to Nepal. I'm going to be kicking off a tour soon, a Deep Riches tour, and I'm going to be kind of traveling around and helping people with the meditation and mindfulness and business stuff. So that sounds nice. What is the practical how-to surrender if you're overthinkers? Is it just practicing and rewiring the brain? I love that question, Michelle. So this is coming from somebody who's got a rather my mind goes through periods of being overly thinking and then not overly thinking, then not. So I'm going to give you the practical how-tos right now. What we don't want to do is we don't want to fight with the mind. So you don't want to get in there and try to make the mind stop. We're not trying, to be clear, and I'm sure you've heard this a million times, we're not trying to get the mind to stop thinking. That's not what it is. So even right now, as we're listening to me talk, as we're listening to me speak, how do you know that you're listening to me speak? You're hearing the words, of course, but how do you know that you're hearing the words? There's a part of you that's listening. We can call it the listener. The only thing you need to do with surrender is to just notice that you're noticing, and then just go like this to the whole thing. Also, really important, second part of this, when we have emotions, this was huge for me, Michelle, huge. What I used to do is pathologize every little thing that happened in my body. So I was having depression, and I wasted all this time trying to figure out how to heal depression. I was going through, every time I'd have anxiety, I'd try to figure out how to heal anxiety and all this stuff. Every time I had some kind of something happen in my life and I felt like crap about it, I would try to figure out how to not feel like crap about it. Totally wrong way to go about it, in my opinion. Here's what happened. I stopped when I had my spiritual awakening. I stopped wrestling with my emotions, and I started going like this to all of them. And I would notice, oh, here's sadness, and just let it be there and not try to fix it, change it, or whatever. Actually feel it, to actually feel the sadness. Oh my God, I cried my eyes out for like 2 days. It was like a huge iceberg breaking off of me. It was the first time I actually let the feeling be here. like really go like this to all of it. And then it flows right through, instead of what normally happens is the sadness comes and we're trying to figure out how to not feel sad. If instead we just let it be here, oh, then it naturally, emotion, energy and motion, it moves out and through the body. That's more or less what I mean by surrender. Also, like something doesn't work out the way we thought it would. It's not the best tasting medicine. We would prefer that it worked out a better way, but to just say, can I be okay with the fact that this happened? In practical terms, let's say you have a business and you have a little launch and nobody's really interested, and there's a little ache in your chest and it feels like you're a failure and it feels like something's wrong with me and all of this stuff that goes along with it. We're watching it, we're letting the emotion happen, and we're going like this and saying, okay, this is not a good feeling, but I'm going to sit with it for like 20 minutes and just let myself feel like, excuse my language, feel like shit about it. And then cry maybe if you want to. And then watch the emotion just kind of break away. And now it's moved through and moving on to the next thing. And that's more or less what I mean by surrender, is can we go like this to all of it? I hope that makes sense. We're driving in traffic, real practical term. Sorry, I just hit you guys. We're driving in traffic, real practical. Somebody cuts us off. There's anger in the body. What normally happens is, oh my God, I don't want this person to have just cut me off. This profanity, 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 profanity. I don't like that this is happening. And then we hold on to it. We're resisting the emotions. We're fighting with the anger. We bring it home. We talk about it. We're resisting something that happened. It was a split second thing. Let's just surrender to it. Someone just cut us off. Cool. There's some anger. Let it flow through. It's gone. Whatever. We just let it all go. Do you see there's like an energetic, like it's all allowed and it's all allowed to go. It's all allowed to be here and then it's all allowed to leave. Okay. I hope that makes sense. Oh my God. So excited you're live right now. Was up late last night binging your content. Yay. Love that you are binging my content. Thanks so much. Everything you say, it's like music. Thank you. Thank you so much. How do you know if you're having a spiritual awakening? I hear this term all the time. Have been doing inner work for decades. Is that all a spiritual awakening? Hey, Vita, I love that question. Let's just briefly talk about what is a spiritual awakening. What exactly do I mean when I say spiritual awakening? The way that this happened for me, I can only speak from my own personal experience and what it meant for me to have a spiritual awakening. So for a long time, I was in clinical depression and anxiety, really bad, really dark. I don't want to belabor the point or bog this lesson down or bring the house down. But long story short, I would say my average happiness level on any daily basis was about a 3. Maybe I'd get up there to like a 5 if I'd had a good workout, I got some fresh air. I worked out a lot. I was having good workouts. So I'd be about a 5 during my workouts. And then the rest of my day, I was mostly about a 3. I didn't really realize that, but I knew that I was not happy and I knew that I was in a lot of pain and suffering. And I just was not very happy. I was also in a relationship for a long time there and it wasn't serving me. And my partner and I were both really well off. Like I was just saying before, we had a beachfront house and there was all this stuff and I had every reason to be happy, but I was waking up with this feeling that it was just a really bottomless pit of emptiness. So much sadness, so much depression, really hard way to live. And I tried forever to figure out how to get rid of this depression. I was doing self-help stuff. And anyway, I had pockets of joy in my life. I had a beautiful golden retriever. I have my family, my little sister at the time, my brother, my mom. I had these little pockets of joy, but my overall state of being, I was wrapped up in this personality structure of a pained, depressed person. And then 2016, I had a really bad health crisis. And then I reached this bottom where it was just so bad, really, really intense pain, so much sadness and so much pain that I would wake up. Just to give you a picture, I would wake up depressed about having to face the day. I would be depressed about having to be just going through another day. It just felt so heavy. And I was sick and my hair was falling out and I wasn't happy, to put it lightly. And then the best way I can describe it is I got so, so, so sad in such a dark, painful, sad place. The only place for me to go, I cracked right out of the pain and I sat in the witness consciousness for the first time really in a long, long, long time. But I was in the witness consciousness that's deep in the witness consciousness. I was in a meditation and I found myself in the witness, so far in the witness, I could see that I was not this pain person. So I was no longer, I was just for my whole life, I was just gripped into this pain pattern. And then all of a sudden I broke away from it and I saw I'm not the depression, I'm not the anxiety, I'm not the stuff. I'm the space that this is happening in. And it was like, oh my God, wow. I get to actually understand what the great masters were talking about. Unfortunately for me, the way that my spiritual awakening happened, it wasn't like Eckhart Tolle, where Eckhart Tolle was just now permanently in that I am that I am. I have access now to the I am that I am in a deeper way than I ever have. And I'm slipping into it at any given moment. I have access to that I am that I am. My personality structure still had some pain to deal with, but now I wasn't stuck in it. You see? So now I'm in this beautiful, beautiful space. And now I can actually see the pain and do what needs to be done to heal it. And for me, the Course in Miracles was a huge part of my healing process. And that's why I took some time away from social media, by the way. I spent 7 years there doing a walkabout. Went to Buddhist monasteries, went to Peru to get a yoga teacher training. I just basically got obsessed with learning about the things of the mind and body, and that healed my body-mind structure. And so my spiritual awakening was a breaking away from the pain so that I was able to then heal the body-mind. And that for me was the path of yoga, the path of Eastern traditions, aka Buddhism and yoga, that really does do wonders for training the mind. And then also the Christian mysticism of A Course in Miracles, which is basically just training the mind to be focused on love and truth. Okay, so that's a very long story short, very long story long of my spiritual awakening. And so just again, full disclosure, I'm still very much a human, still definitely have some patterns here, but luckily I'm so most of the day, I'd say about 80% of my day, I'm abiding in the witness consciousness. And that's why that's why I talked a little bit about my mental diet, talked about monk mode on my channel, talk about all those things that I hold so very dear as far as presence, mindfulness, meditation, because those things make me feel at home now. What used to make me feel at home was being in misery, having a chaotic relationship, twisting my mind into a million different pretzels, thinking about what's wrong with my life. It made me feel at home as the miserable little personality structure to think about problems, to overanalyze, to overcriticize, to overthink. And now most of my days I'm doing some thinking, but I'm doing a lot more being. And that's kind of more or less what I mean by spiritual awakening. If anybody else would like to share your spiritual awakening story in the chat, if any of that makes any sense to any of you guys, share it. But also, I'd love to hear anybody else's spiritual awakening story. Your experiences and stories mean a lot. I feel less alone. So happy you're through that, Brenda. Much wiser for it. Yeah, thank you so much, Scott. I enjoy Kundalini yoga and Christianity as good life for me. I love that, Angel. Beautiful, beautiful. I can relate to the stuff you went through. I believe God has better doors, and sometimes we go through relationships or partners to finally get to the one. I do believe there is one that God chooses. I think you're right. You know what? I've said a couple different times, I believe that as far as relationships go, I'm the love of my life. And I'm not necessarily the love of my life, but the I am that I am is the love of my life. That part of me that is the eternal now, that is the ray of the sun, of the sonship, as the Course in Miracles says. I feel more or less married to that part of myself, and sometimes partners come and sometimes partners go. But I used to be, I had a partner there for 17 years, and he's still a good friend of mine, and we actually ended on pretty good terms. But that relationship was during that time, you guys, it was so much pain and trauma and chaos. That's what my personality structure really thrived off of. And it was like Eckhart Tolle talks about the pain body. The pained personality will seek out situations to validate its pain and to grow the pain. So my personality structure was putting myself in painful situations that were feeding this depression and anxiety. And so both of us, my partner and I, were both feeding off of each other's pain bodies. And with 17 years of just a constant, it, it was definitely not healthy. We'll just put it that way. It was not healthy. Thank God that both of us happened to have an awakening. He had his own awakening in his own separate kind of timeline, and he still has his own journey. But going separate now, as we've been apart for many years now, we can see in retrospect how insane the whole thing was. And now it's really beautiful. Just to wrap it up, now it's beautiful because we can call each other up. We'll check in with each other. There's still a love there, but it's not based in insanity, and it's more just like in retrospect. In retrospect, now we can see how unhealthy it was. And now we can be there for each other as just mutual souls. Just, hey, how are you doing? How are you feeling? Do you need anything? XYZ. It's so good to hear from you. And it's just so much healthier now than it ever was. We don't talk all that often, but that's just, anyway, hopefully that's helpful. Vita says, I relate to all of it. I've explored meditation, spiritual teachers, yoga for decades, but still feel very head-based, challenged to embody them consistently. Yeah, Vita, you're doing great. And honestly, I think there's some people don't need an awakening. You know, I needed that awakening because I was in so much suffering. But I think, for instance, I'd love to just share this really quick with you guys. My little sister, who is no longer with us on this side of the veil. She passed very suddenly, and she was 23 years old. And she and we were so close, but we were not at all alike. And I couldn't talk to her about spirituality because she didn't have any interest in it. But she was also so joyful, so loving, so peaceful. She never said anything bad about a single person. She was one of the most happiest people I've ever met in my life. Had a perfect relationship. She was about the closest thing to a walking angel you could possibly see. And I can see in retrospect now, her passing so early, just the entirety of her life. I didn't understand why she wasn't interested at all in any of the things I was interested in. I thought, man, I would even say, like we would talk every so often about it. I could tell she just had no interest. I can see in retrospect, her path, her system didn't need it. She was right on track. She was already awake. She was already aware. She was already filled with love. She didn't need any of this stuff. Some people do, though. And I'm one of those people. I needed the medicine. I needed the spiritual awakening because I was not awake. That song, I once was lost, but now I'm found. But some people are not lost. Some people, Vita, it could quite possibly be that you're already wide open. You know what I mean? So keep open to that. It could be that you're exactly right where you need to be. Okay. I had a true awakening when I had my out of body experience. That's beautiful. I hope you have lots of YouTube videos on your channel because it sounds like you have had quite a journey and you have some beautiful things to share. Okay, everybody. So I think I'm going to end it. I just saw that we're close to an hour and it's been so good hanging with you guys. And I just wanted to end it with saying, wherever you're at right now, whatever you're up to, whatever your dreams and desires are in this world, whether it be more money, more health, more abundance, more peace, more joy, these tools can definitely help you. But more importantly, love is the answer. Love is going to help you the most. And yeah, just go ahead and shine your light and have your best day, live your best life. And I'll see you guys maybe in the next live stream. If not, I'll be posting a long form video here coming up very soon. Okay. It was so good to see you guys. Thanks, Derek. Thanks, Kirsty. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Midori. I'll see you guys later.